What's going on, everybody? So guys, the portal's glowing. It's always glowing. And we have more summoning events coming up, which doesn't really make sense because the fusion's ending and CVC is not going on. So the only other thing it could be is bait. And I want to explain what could be coming up in just a moment. But this summon event, we get some free prism crystals from the, well, not free. I guess you have to spend the energy, but the Sand Devil turn attack, I definitely recommend doing that. I definitely recommend trying to get the prism crystals wherever you can, because this pull is actually pretty good. I mean, we have Gwendolyn. I use her in Fire Knight. King Garog is better than he was. I still want to have some souls on him before I actually use him in content. The Ash Arrow's good. Herndig's actually usable. All these champions are actually pretty good. And we have some Mikage champs down here as well. Now, that's a video I'm probably going to do later on, is a video talking about Mikage. And I've seen a lot of talks about her not being as good as she used to be because of the ally attack changes in Hydra. So I want to do some testing with her and show you guys where I'm still using her and if I'm still using her. But let's talk about the summon event that's coming up tomorrow. So this event's going to be starting tomorrow, Tuesday, November 12th, a 15x progressive chance event. So you summon a legendary, the next one you summon is going to be a boosted chance to get the legendary you're going for in these boosted rate events. So tomorrow we're going to have Tshirt Dream Song, which was a previous fusion, Thor, also a previous fusion, Glycad, which is very similar to Duchess, but an awesome champion, and then Brogni, which, I mean, Brogni's not, he's well past his prime. He's still good for some clan boss teams, but he's definitely talked about far less than he used to be. We have Raka and Shuzin. To be honest, between those two, I'm just going for Shuzin. She's an incredible champion. Raka's not bad, but she is nowhere near the level of Shuzin. Shuzin's very good, especially for arena, live arena, things like that. But even for Hydra, she's very good there as well. Was more used before Trunda got changed, but still an awesome champion. And then on Wednesday, November 13th, same thing, progressive chance event for Newt, Mitaki, Nekmo, Kyoku, Taras, and Rio Bone Spear. Now I want to show you my champions that I have and how they're built, but I also want to say that I wouldn't even pull for this event, to be honest. There's some awesome champions. Like Newt, I use him in a few different areas. I use him for sure in Sand Devil, Shogun, Hydra. No, not Hydra anymore, but used to Hydra. But he's really good. I was using him, I believe, in the event dungeon. Awesome champion. Fire Knight, I don't know how I even forgot about that. But he's an amazing champion. However, if they do anything similar to what they did last year, around the 29th or the end of the month, they did the Torment event. Now, the Torment event did require you to summon champions to actually get the points for the Titan event to actually get Torment for free, essentially. I have no doubt in my mind whatsoever they're going to do some type of event like that later on, whether it's a guaranteed champion, whether it's another Titan event, a Deck of Fate, a Hero's Path event, something requiring us to pull shards, maybe even use souls, but do these different events to actually get the champion at the end of the path. The reason why I think this is because today we're having the 10x events or progressive chance for some random champions who are good. We also have the Soulstone event, I believe, starting tomorrow. We got the news for that earlier as well, so the news is right in here. Awakening boost starting Tuesday, so starting tomorrow. We have an Awakening boost, which I believe there is a Soul Chase tournament tomorrow as well. So you can maybe pick up some extra rewards, which I probably will pull my Mortal Soulstones. Maybe I'll probably go ahead and pull everything there, to be honest, which could be worth it. That could be good. However, just know that if you're doing that, you may be missing out on future events and future, Deck of Fate, Path of Light, whatever kind of event player is going to be thrown at us. I have no doubt they're going to be doing that. With the Wednesday progressive chance being actually pretty solid, it definitely raises some suspicions, but I mean, to be honest, everything Plarium does raises my suspicions, so I can't really give too much weight to that. Now, I don't have Tshirt. I don't have Thor. Unfortunately, I don't have either one of those champions. Thor, amazing. Very, very good Hydra champion. Even with the changes, he is still very good. He's not going to do as much damage as before, but you still need a damage dealer for Hydra, and he's still going to be very solid for you. Tshirt, I actually went against her in the arena a few days ago, and I didn't have a speed or a champion, but the enemies was faster than my Siphi. She had a 28%, I think, speed aura, somewhere around that 25. I don't know what it was, but the Tshirt could have been 400 speed, but she was faster than my Siphi, which I was very surprised about. But she's an awesome champion. Good for Hydra, good for Arena, very solid champion. And I mean, if you have tons of shards, maybe going for her is not a problem. But like I said, I wouldn't even go for this event. And then Glycad, Let's go check him out. Glyca has a Sylvan Watcher. He's also a really good champion. I would definitely use him. He's very similar to Duchess, has an AoE res, which is actually very few champions have this, but also has an AoE Perfect Veil plus increased attack. His passive ability is really good as well. Boosted damage on champions under Perfect Veil. So he's an awesome champion. I would love to have him, but I'm not going to be tricked into pulling during a 15x progressive event because the chances are I'm just not going to get him. And then Raka and Shu Zin. Shu Zin's a champion who I would love to have. Shu Zin does the, grants an ally an instant turn, cleanses sheep if they're under it. She does an AoE increase speed and decrease speed. Very rare for both of these skills to be both of these effects to be on the same skill, both AoE as well. And then a decent A1 ability, but really just her A2 and A3 is the best. And the A3 is the passive is essentially Arbiter's Aura, which is also incredible. Arena battle specifically though. And then we have Raka Viltad, which, to be honest, I've not looked into her in a while. What is she even? Is she Night Revenant? I can't even think of what she is. She's not bad. What is she, though? An orc? I think she's an orc. Yeah. Where's she at? Right there. So heals, cleanse, remove all debuffs from all allies and places, increase attack and shield equal to 25% of this champion's max HP. And then also an AoE res with 50% HP and 50% turn meter, then a block debuffs, and then we'll place it even if there are no dead allies. So it looks like she can use this off cooldown, which I don't love that, especially for things like Hydra, because they can use that A3 skill and then not have it ready for when people are actually dead. So champions like Pythion's really good. I like it that he only uses it when champions are dead, but champions like Arbiter, who have that AoE res, but it also has an extra effect on it, is not good because she'll just be doing it all the time and not actually res people. If you're doing it on auto, that is. Same thing with Uko. Mighty Uko, he'll just pop off with that A3, given the increased speed, instead of just using it only when people are dead. Then her passive at the start of the turn fills the turn meter of all allies with 10%. That's really cool. Start of each turn places a continuous heal buff on the ally with the lowest HP for 2 turns. So a good champion, no doubt. She has good ratings, but her versus Shu Zin, I think most people will be pulling for Shu Zin. Like I said at the beginning, I wouldn't pull for any of these. Then we have Newt, Mitaki, Nekmo, and Kyoku. So my Newt, I use him in several areas. I'll show you guys some teams with him in just a moment. Mitaki, also really good. He's not geared great for me anymore, but if you pair him with Mikage, then he's going to be joining in the attacks with Mikage. And even though ally attack and things like that is not as good as it was, it's still useful. And you can still get some good effects from it, and especially if you're somebody who wasn't destroying the decapitated heads before anyways, you're still going to have your best damage by bringing in an ally attack champion or somebody like Mitaki, who places HP burn on the A1, brings a decreased attack and decreased defense, 2 very, very useful debuffs for Hydra, an AoE strip plus a hex, and then has a chance to join in the attack on enemies under hex. So he's going to be joining in stuff, doing excellent debuffs, and then if you have Mikage, it's even better. So he's an awesome, awesome champion. I really just mainly use him in Hydra, though. And then Nekmo, also a champion who is so good. And honestly, with the changes to Hydra and me trying to make more auto-friendly teams and worried less about pushing crazy high damage, but just getting my 1 key done, actually more than 1 key, getting the 1.2 billion Clash score finished. So a respectable team, but full auto being like the #1 priority. Nekmo's been really good for that. I stopped using him before because of his extra turns would get you closer to the 1,500 turn count. But now that it's 1,000 turn limit and Hydra is more difficult than before anyways, and you're not sitting on the decapitated heads as long because they're going to die, well, Nekmo's become a lot better, and I don't care as much about the extra turns he takes because I just want to get through stuff, kill the heads, move on. Not as big of a deal. But Slayer plus Provoke is what I have him in. Good speed. Accuracy is actually pretty low. I guess I run Mikage as the accuracy lead aura. So he has an extra, 70. So still a little bit low. I need to fix that, but not horrible. Actually, he needs to be like 330, 350, somewhere higher than that. So I do need to come through here and give some accuracy glyphs to him, but that's something I can work on later on. But Nekmo is an awesome champion. Very, very good. And awesome for Provoke. If you use him in dungeon content for stun, Hex, Curse set, all that stuff is really good on him. And then Kyoku, that's just Mikage. Like, if you're going to go for Kyoku, you're just doing that for Mikage. There's no, right? She's part of Mikage's fusion, I believe. But there's no other reason to go for her other than Mikage, unless you're just missing her and you really want to finish your collection. But then we have Taras and Riho. I don't have Taras. He's a Banner Lord. I don't have Taras. If I had him, I'd definitely use him. I have Narcy, so I'm not going to be pulling for Taras anyways. There's no real reason for me to. But if you need an HP nuker, yeah, he's an amazing one. But then as far as Riho, I do use her in content. I use her in Sand Devil, which, let's go ahead and jump in and showcase some teams where I use these Progressive Chance champions in. So over in Sand Devil, which we have the event going on currently for, I use Newt and I use Rio. I use Siphi for the sleep, Godseeker for the res, and Kaimar for the reset. Technically, Kaimar, I guess, could be a Crixia, could be a Yumiko, anybody who can reset the cooldowns, which actually, I think 3-turn cooldowns should be fine. I'm not actually certain. But then Godseeker, of course, reses with a cooldown reset, so picks my Newt back up, and we're okay. Siphi could technically be a different champion who places... Okay, that's actually wrong. Newt should have died there. Apparently, he's a little too tanky. So I may have to revisit that. But we should probably still be okay. At least I hope. Things like Brimstone's a little bit better. I actually didn't know this team would fail. And I don't know why my Newt survived. We're going to have to fix that, Newt. We're going to make you a little squishier there, buddy. Getting Soul Reaps. I mean, Siphi, I need you to fix this, okay? We're going to be fine because we just keep rezzing people. He'll just cycle back around through his stuff. The boss is almost dead anyways. But this is a team I use. Rio's really good here. Places up all the debuffs so we can do more damage to him. Plus does the cleanse and everything, which is really good for Shogun. So Rio's definitely a champion who is really good if you can get her. She used to be really good in Arena. Not so much anymore. She has a passive where she can reflect the debuff, the first debuff that's placed on her. She'll reflect those back, which was really good against Hegemon, but that's back in the old days. And then for this team, if you don't have Wallmaster, you can use Newt. That's fine. He's weak affinity, but he'll be okay, especially if he's a higher blessing. But with this team, I use Rio, Ninja, and it's consistent and pretty fast as well. Obviously, Thorion's better than Newt because he's neutral affinity, but Newt still works, and I use Newt for a while. Rio comes in here, cleanses the debuffs. As long as you have him speed tune correctly, it's not going to be any problem. Matter of fact, my Ninja, I don't think it's actually speed tuned correctly. He should have used another A2 there, but he didn't. So Rio actually comes in clutch here with the HP burn on the boss. It's good stuff. So the run's relatively quick, very consistent. That's where my Rio's being used. My Michinaki's not currently being used much. My Nekmo is in my Hydra team. I use him in the Brutal team with Mikage, Nekmo, Wukong, Lydia, Obro, and Shamael. And then I guess that's about it. If I had Thor and Yostrid, I would probably use I might use Yostrid in the arena. Thor, I would maybe put him in some Hydra teams, and then possibly in Fire Knight. He's still good there. Bringing the decreased speed, he can definitely do some work. But ultimately, guys, I wouldn't even pull for this event. I think it's bait. But if you do pull for it, that's the best explanation I can give on those champions. A lot of very solid options here, some more so than others. But best of luck if you decide to go for it. But I really just recommend holding your shards. It's not anything crazy event, to be honest. Hold the shards. We're coming into Christmas. We're coming into the events that last year we had with the Torment Guaranteed or the Torment Titan event, where they do some surprise summon events where you're going to need to be ready for those. They could have some soul events. Who knows what they could have? So just be mindful with your resources. I say that with no shards in my stockpile, so I'm not pulling for it anyways, but just be mindful, guys. Just be mindful. So thank y'all for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next one.